Go up a little more. All right. All right. Okay, go ahead. Wait. Wait. Oh wait, we got a zip tie over here. We got a zip tie. Seems to be clear. Okay. All right, keep going. Down, down, down. It should be good right there. Looks pretty centered. Alrighty guys, so as you just saw, we removed the bed off of the single cab. That means that we're gonna go ahead and actually test fit, do the final test fit of our OA Plus Leafspring hanger kit. And I'm excited about this, guys. This should be a pretty easy process because this truck did already have OA Leafsprings. We just had used the stock hangers, like I've said that you're able to do if you want to. So it's gonna make it a little bit easier because there's no more rivets there. There's just bolts. The only rivets we got to remove are those 4 back there. We're also gonna make a new block for this. Again, it's gonna be one of the new blocks that we're gonna be offering. And the last thing that I want to accomplish is actually removing this helper bag mount, because if I have it my way, this truck is never gonna need it anymore. Again, this truck should be retired. The only job that it has now is being part of R&D and getting really cool parts thrown at it. So again, it shouldn't really ever need those bags. That being said, it is gonna keep these 08 leaves that it has. I thought about installing some of our newer leaves, but we do also got to do testing with the 08 Plus, 08 through 16 leaves. Plus, I want to save those for you guys if you guys want to buy those, because I am happy with these. They ride fairly decent. So again, like I said, I'm going to remove that bracket, remove that, figure out what we got to do for a block, and we should be good. It is going to be about an inch longer, since this truck does actually squat like half an inch. So we're going to make it an inch longer so that it has a little bit of a rake. So let's get to it. Alrighty guys, so update time. We have fitted everything, test fit everything, and it's looking really good. So we just got done removing all the brackets that we just test fit, and again, like I said, everything worked really good. I'm really happy with the fit of everything. We also have the bracket for the e-brake cable figured out, I think. I think it's gonna work pretty good. This was the first rendition of it, but it was more work than it needed to be and didn't fit exactly right the way that I wanted it to, so we kind of simplified it. So we simplified it quite a bit and have it actually welded to the actual hanger now, so I think it'll work better. Now, while Jose is welding the brackets, I'm gonna go ahead and I actually gotta modify the mounting bracket for my fuel pump. So we're gonna move it forward a little bit so that it actually clears the e-brake cables and all that stuff. So I think it should be fine mounting it like somewhere right here. So I'm gonna go ahead, figure that out, and once we got that figured out, once Jose's got all the brackets welded, we'll actually do the final install, throw the bed back on it, and hopefully call it a day early tomorrow. So yeah. Alrighty guys, so we've got all of the I've got some anyways we've got all of the parts all fully welded, ready to go. I'm actually gonna, it's towards the end of the day. I was hoping to finish this today, but that didn't happen. But we've got all the parts fully welded, ready to go. Like I said, I'm gonna spray paint them and leave them drying overnight. Well, I'm actually mainly gonna spray paint the back side of them, and then once they're on the truck, I'll do a finishing coat on the outside of them. But man, I absolutely love these parts. I don't know if you guys watched the last video where we first finished the actual design of these things, but if you didn't, so these are our brackets, right? These are our OA plus Leafspring hanger brackets, and man, I am so happy with the way these things turned out. I like on these ones, I absolutely love this plate, the way that it hugs the frame. It's so nice. And like I said, guys, all of these holes that you see on this bracket, they're already existing on your frame. We did also throw a little thin little coat of spray paint on the frame. So I want to show you. There's a lot of holes right here, and this is the problem with using your OBS Leafspring hangers. That you're going to add a lot more holes to the frame. So for example, that hole wasn't there. That hole wasn't there. That one wasn't there. We had to enlarge this one a little bit. A lot of holes that you don't really need, right? So with our kit, you'll use these 3 holes that are already existing on your frame. You'll use that one, and this one right there. And then that and that, again, are already in your frame. The only thing you'll have to do is make these slightly bigger to fit the hardware that we include with the kit. But we try to make it as easy as possible as we could for you guys, just so you're not struggling once, you know, kind of time to do the install. Same with the rear kit. All 4 holes already in your frame. You just gotta enlarge them a little bit. Super happy with the way they turned out. Really, really happy. Really like them. These things are so beefy. And then our shackles. Like, this is a stout piece. Again, really, really like this piece. And the last part that's not here that I haven't showed you guys yet because we haven't finished it is our blocks. So we are going to be doing a set of our new fabricated blocks on this truck yet. The only reason why we haven't finished them yet is because I actually want to put the truck back together, put the bed on it, and then take the exact measurement that I'll need to build those blocks. So that'll be something that we finish tomorrow. It'll pretty much be the very last thing that we finish. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, spray paint these things, let them dry overnight. And tomorrow morning when I come in, I'll finish putting everything back together, and we should hopefully be good to go by then. All right, go ahead. Yeah, looks like I went all the way in. Alrighty, guys, so update time. We have all of our brackets on the truck. They're looking good. And we actually figured out, so the main thing that I wanted to test by installing the kit on this truck was, 1, to make sure that it fit the way that we wanted to on a second truck, it fit perfectly. And 2, I don't know if you guys remember from the last video when we installed it on the dually, I didn't do anything for the parking brake. That's something that I really, really wanted to do. So the main reason why we were doing this install on my truck today was to figure out a parking brake solution, and I think we figured it out. So we've got the rear hanger, the front hanger, looking beautiful. And as you can see, we've got our parking brake installed on the truck. And we already tested it and everything, and it works good. So basically what we did is we made a second smaller bracket. I don't know if you can kind of see it right here. That will essentially bolt on to your hanger, and you will have to drill 1 hole. So out of this whole install, you are going to have to drill 1 hole for this 7/16 bolt. We try to make it really nice and small. So that bolt is essentially there just to keep this from pivoting, because over here obviously it's going to use the same 1/2-inch bolt that the rest of the kit will use. This kind of got everything in line where we like it. It's tensioned pretty good right now. It's loose because the parking brake's not on. Now there will be a little bit of a process to installing this bracket. So the way that I will do it, and I'll be honest with you guys, this side, the driver's side, closer to the cab, is the hardest side to put on because of that damn tank. But it is doable. It's nothing crazy. So what you want to do is you want to install your hanger, do those 3 bolts, do that bolt, and that bolt. You'll want to leave this bolt out in this bracket. You want to go ahead and snug up your bottom bolts first until the bracket is flush with the frame. It's touching it. So once the bottom is touching the frame, then you want to tighten up everything on the side. And the reason why you want to do that is because there's a lot more bolts on the side and they're a lot bigger. So if you tighten these bolts first and the bottom of the bracket's not snug up to the frame, you're not going to be able to move it. So that goes for both brackets. So you want to snug up the bottom ones. They don't have to be tight. They just need to be snug up against the frame. And then you'll tighten up your side bolts, torque everything, all of these. So everything that's already on. Once they're all nice and tight, then you'll put on this bracket. You'll put on that bolt. You'll have to drill that one bolt hole through the frame. And then install this bracket, tighten up everything. And then you can run your cables through the bracket. We did make 2 small little holes, one there and one there for the cables to go through it. And then same on this side. And then they get captured by this bracket. And again, that should work good. We're really happy with the way that it turned out. Overall, this is going to be what you guys receive. And again, it should work with all of your brakes. Every single truck that I've done, this is the way that we've done it. So I guess one extra thing, these cables will have extra brackets and stuff attached to them. You will have to get rid of them and have your cables basically look like this, which is just your actual parking brake cable with no brackets from like this point forward. Remove everything and just leave this by itself. The way that this works, like on a Super Duty, is that these two get tied together with a little bracket. So instead of this looking like this, it'll be a bracket that attaches this cable to that cable, and then it would go to this cable going forward. That doesn't really work. So what we do is we keep this part. This is a part that came with the OBS, right? This was part of the OBS e-brake system. You keep this and you make everything work with this and our brackets. Again, really happy with the way everything turned out. It's looking really good. Like I said last night, we painted the backs of these brackets. Today, before we put the bed back on it, we'll paint everything again on the frame, and we should be good. I'm gonna go ahead, throw the leaf springs on this thing, throw the blocks, throw the bed back on it, and once we have the bed back on it, we'll take measurements to make our own custom blocks for this thing to make sure that everything sits the way that we want it to sit. So yeah, I'll update you guys once we have the leaf springs on the truck. Alrighty guys, so we've got the hangers, everything on the truck, and I'm actually really happy with the way that everything's looking. Kind of wanted to show you everything before we spray paint it for final time, because obviously once everything's black, it's going to be really hard to see. Again, super happy with how everything's turning out, how everything is looking. I actually did end up doing one modification. I ended up making the rear hanger for the shackle longer, because with that shackle being a long travel shackle or a drop shackle, whatever you want to call it, it did drop the back more than I wanted it to, which helped out on the dually, but not on this truck. So we went ahead, dropped the hanger so that everything kind of matches what it would originally would have been. I think it's turning out pretty good. So like I said, we got to throw the bed back on this thing and see exactly how big of a block we got to make. Once we know that, we'll be good to go, because right now the last thing we got to do is the block. Sorry about all the noise, by the way. Obviously, you know, we're always making stuff. So let's go check out what Jose's working on right now. But anyways, that's why we're always so loud. We're always making parts for you guys. So those are some radius arms that we're going to be shipping out hopefully by tomorrow. It's actually going to be going on a pretty cool build, kind of big lift, show truck sort of stuff. So definitely excited about that one. But yeah, guys, I mean, everything turned out super nice. Again, I am really happy with the way that everything is looking. Man, UPS guy's here. Anyways, the UPS guy dropped off some hardware. But anyways, I don't know, guys. I'm just so happy with the way that everything turned out, like down to the parking brake cable. Now, obviously, unless you have the same setup with the with an e-fuel, this should be a lot cleaner. Most e-fuel systems on trucks that aren't single cabs, they have you mounted inside the frame rail, so none of this will interfere. Again, this is kind of a just because I've got a single cab with this specific fuel system on it. But again, we were still able to make it work. It kind of just goes right behind the filters. It does rub a little bit, but it should be fine. I mean, this thing's not like it's moving in and out through while you're driving the truck, you know. Only when you park and actually want to hit the parking brake cable, this is gonna actuate. But I mean, everything's got good tension. I'm, again, really happy with it. Now, another thing that I was looking at, and I definitely want to do one day with this truck, because again, I've talked about this a lot in the channel. Like, this truck, I guess, gonna be like our flagship off-road truck. Like, we're gonna throw everything we can at this truck. And that's not to say that we're gonna turn it into a pre-runner, because, and I might catch a lot of hate, you know. Cody, our buddy, hates me for this. Doesn't hate me, but I hate pre-runner builds. Especially like OBS trucks. I love these trucks because of the body lines. Me personally, my personal opinion, I think they look hideous with the fenders, the bedsides, all that shit. I think it looks hideous. I hate it. But I love the suspension. I love what they can do. You know, the idea for this is maybe making it into like a really high performance like chase truck, you know, sort of thing, where still looks stockish, you know, stock fenders, everything, but can definitely party. And then obviously we can make a setup, you know, for if you want to do full long travel with fiberglass, everything, you know, we could obviously do that too. But what I was getting to is, imagine this thing with a long trailing arm right there going like that. And then imagine a bed cage with like some, not saying that I'll ever do this because I don't have the money for it, but imagine like some 4.0 King, some King Kongs or whatever they call them. I got to see a lot of cool shocks when Cody used to be here. He worked on some 4.0 Kings that I believe they called King Kongs or some stuff like that. But they were massive. So imagine like some big old shocks right there to a long trailing arm. Like, how cool would that be? That's more or less, probably less than more, the ultimate plan for this truck that I would love to have. But for now, this will do. We're slowly getting there, guys. Trust me, little by little. We gotta make all the parts first, and then we'll make the party stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead, throw the bed on this thing, and go from there. I think it'll be pretty close, I'm hoping. I know that the wheels were pretty centered in the wheel well from doing the dually, so I don't think this will be any different. But yeah, let's throw the bed back on this thing, and we'll see how we do. Alrighty, guys, so I've got the truck back together again. We've got the bed on it. We've got everything back together, and it's looking really good. It's obviously, again, like I said, still squatted. This thing's always been about got my helper today. So this thing's always been about a 1/2 inch low in the rear compared to the front. Again, it's kind of right back to where it used to be. And like I've been saying, we've got our own fabricated blocks too now, and we're gonna be throwing a set of them on the truck. So now the reason why I didn't put them on when the bed was off is because, like I said, I wanted to know exactly how much taller we needed to make them. And basically the only way you can really do that is with the bed on it. And I kind of want to, most people should be able to do this, but just in case you need to know, you basically took a measurement from the ground to the top of the wheel well on the front and the rear, and then whatever the difference is, you add it to your existing block. So like I said, my truck actually ended up being 3/4 of an inch lower in the rear. What are you doing? So like I was saying, my truck was about 3/4 of an inch lower in the rear than the front. And my block was 6 1/4 inches tall. So what I ended up doing is making the block that we're gonna put in there 1 1/4 inches, I believe, longer than this stock block. So that should give us a slight rake in the rear compared to the front. So hopefully that made sense. If you guys have any questions about, kind of measuring for your right block, just let me know. But again, it's that easy. Okay, so these are our new blocks. And again, I am super happy and excited about the way these things came out. And again, we'll customize these blocks exactly to however you want them, however tall they need to be, whatever taper they need to have your opinion angle where it needs to be. We'll help you make them however you need them. And again, these things are super beefy. So we've got a 3x5 rectangular tube making up the main body. We have the bottom plate, the top plate that captures the U-bolts. That way you know that this block is never ever going to go anywhere. And again, this is just a lot safer than having stacked blocks like I used to have on my truck. And again, we do have the bump stop tab on this thing too, with a really beefy reinforcement added to it. So again, we are super excited about these things. What I'm going to do right now is spray them real quick with some paint, and then we'll go ahead and throw them on the truck. So alrighty guys, so as you can see, we actually have the blocks installed in the truck, both over there and right here, and they're looking great. I'm actually really happy with the way everything is turning out. I think it's looking really good. And again, here's the look of that rear hanger. This thing is actually, well, give me a sec. Okay, so I don't know if it's placebo effect or anything like that, but the truck is actually riding really well. Like I said, I took this thing on a 2-hour drive yesterday, one way. So I drove it for 4 hours yesterday total, and I went and picked up these axles. More on these in a little bit, but the truck handled so good. Like, it was super nice, super smooth. And I mean, that's the whole point of going with the long travel drop shackles. It'll allow your springs to move a little bit more freely. It felt really good. And on top of that, now that we have the ride height dialed in like I wanted to, I love it. So it's going to be a little bit hard to see because obviously we've got a little bit of a load in the back, about 1,000 pounds, a little more. So it's back to squatting a little bit. The way we left the truck sitting is actually about a 1/2 inch higher in the back than the front. Like I've said before, me personally, I think that is the perfect way to set these trucks up, because if you set them up perfectly level, it will always look lower in the back than the front. So you want that rear end to be a little bit higher than the front. Again, that's my personal preference. I think that's how they look right. But again, I'm super happy with the way that it's looking, performing. Really excited to get these out to you guys, which I guess brings me to my next point of this video. These things are going to go live on Black Friday. I was really hoping to have them ready before Black Friday, but I don't want to rush anything. So they will be live on Black Friday. And again, the entire store, well, not the entire, all of our stuff, all the BDD stuff will be on sale. And I believe it's from 5 to 15% off. Usually the kit is about 15% off. Don't hold me to that yet because we haven't actually sat down and decided what we're doing, but count between 10 and 15% off the kit. Now, I'm gonna say this right now because every year there's people that get mad. Try and buy like as soon as the sale goes live. A little hint for you guys that are still watching: the sale usually goes live after we're done with our Thanksgiving dinner. So like around 8 or 10 on Thursday, on Thanksgiving night, the sale goes live. And there's Arizona time, which I believe right now it's mountain time. For you guys that don't know, Arizona doesn't do daylight time savings or whatever. So we're either on Pacific time or mountain time. But right now I think we're on mountain time. So yeah, so on Thursday, on Thanksgiving, around 8 to 10, the sale should go live. And I'm saying this because the earlier you put in your order, the way faster you're gonna get it. Last year we didn't finish fulfilling orders from our Black Friday sale until January. So again, like I said, we are working our hardest and we're getting pretty good at shortening lead times. But if you guys don't want to wait, at least try and get your order in on Black Friday. But yeah, guys, again, we are so excited about the way all this is turning out. There are a couple of things that I want to do. Like, I want to make a shackle and a rear hanger that isn't a drop shackle. So the shackle and everything will be the same height as the original one. And the only reason why you might want that is if you haul like super heavy. These long travel drop shackles, again, allow your spring to move more freely, but that's also going to squat it a little bit more. So we are going to be coming out with that option. And two, eventually down the road, I'm not planning on doing this anytime soon, but we are going to do a shackle flip for the rear, to where your shackle is going to be hanging from on top instead of, you know, being from the bottom. That's down the road. Right now, we're really happy with this kit. And now about these axles, like I've been saying, I want to start carrying all the parts we can to do swaps for you guys. And I actually was able to get these axles yesterday. What we're gonna do is, I've got a buddy that is really good at rebuilding axles. That's what he does. So I'm actually I'm gonna strip them off completely and then take them to him. He's gonna rebuild them, do new seals, go through them, anything that needs replaced, he will replace them, and then they will be available to you guys if you guys want to come down to the shop, have us swap your axles. you can just drop off your truck and we should have everything to do the swap for you. If you again, if you want these axles, you gotta act fast. I don't know if by the time that I post this video if they're already gonna be sold or not. Again, if you guys have been wanting to swap your truck and haven't found axles, right now I have at least one set. And send me an email, blowingdiesel@gmail.com. We can get you a quote, tell you how much those are gonna cost. And again, I really want to sell them already rebuilt, just to minimize any problems down the road, because I trust my guy. I trust that he'll rebuild them really, really well. I wouldn't trust selling you guys something like this without opening them up, making sure that they're good, that nothing's gonna leak. They're wet all over the place, you know, like the pinion right there. And I don't know if that's from the actual pinion being bad or from the engine just leaking on it. So I'd rather get them fully rebuilt and then, you know, sell them to you guys. But again, right now for the rest of the year, we're booked. This is actually one of the next ones we're gonna build. We've got Bryce's truck that we still have to finish. Actually, let me give you a little sneak peek. I don't know if I already did it in this video or not, but today and tomorrow I'm gonna be working on this truck. We already have our truss for the front axle ready, at least mocked up to start doing the rest of this build. Now that I'm saying all of this, I'm pretty sure that I already went over this. So editor, you can cut it if you want to. But again, I mean, just look at this thing. Like, man, I am so in love with this thing. We gotta do something about this truck. It's just look at it like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like the red or the tan and white? I don't know. But guys, thank you so much. We freaking love you. We're so excited about everything. You know, thank you for bringing us your builds. We appreciate your support so much, and we're so excited for the future of BDD. We have so much stuff coming. I know that it's sometimes slow. You know, I don't have that much time between everything that I do. So we're hoping to change a few things here in the next coming weeks to hopefully free up more of my time so that I can make more videos, make more parts, and do more installs. But again, guys, just a huge thank you. We really appreciate you. Thank you for watching, for subscribing, for liking, leaving comments, for going to our website and buying our parts, for bringing us your trucks. We truly love you, and we couldn't do any of this without you. So thank you. And again, hit the like, leave any comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you for the next one.